Hi, I'm Pastor Bill Vigue of Meat of the Word Ministries. I want to continue my thoughts on a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Now, what was the Apostle Paul referring to in regards to denying, contradicting, or neutralizing the power? The word power there is the Greek word dunamis, means the miraculous power or the miraculous ability of God. Certainly, it refers to signs and wonders and miracles. Certainly, it refers to the gifts of the Holy Spirit and all the attributes and all the characteristics of the Holy Spirit of God. We need that. Now, in the context, and I read a portion of that context yesterday, Paul had said, "And know this also, that in the latter days perilous times shall come." Well, I want to read a little bit ahead of that because there really was no chapters and verses, but we have our Bible that does have chapter and verses. I want to begin reading here with in 2 Timothy verse 24, and I want you to see exactly, because if we take it out of context, we don't really understand what the servant of the Lord has to do. And I think we have a tendency of some people that'll sit there and read the chapter where it says perilous times shall come and all these terrible character traits will be identified, and we've got to resist them and disqualify them and reject them and don't listen to them and kick them out of the church, and we think we're doing God a favor by doing it. But just before that, the Apostle Paul spoke very specifically to Timothy of what the servant of the Lord must do. And he's referring immediately in the context, he's referring to these perilous times and these character traits that we're going to be facing in the world. What really is the servant of the Lord supposed to do with the power of God? What really is godliness supposed to do, or a godly servant supposed to do in regards to all these terrible characteristics or character failures of men? Well, Paul wrote this to Timothy in just before he mentions this. He says in verse 24, "And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves, if God peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth." Now, what exactly is the acknowledging of the truth? That they're in sin, that they need to recover themselves, that they need to repent and recover themselves. The next verse says, "And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil." Out of the snare of the devil, that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. The devil has a will, and his will is to take you captive. It is his will to take the seed of God's word out of your heart. Immediately, he will come for every truth that tries to penetrate or is sown in your heart, no matter what it is, whether it's forgiveness of sin, healing of your body, the grace of God, salvation, rescue, recovery. But here is the servant of the Lord. They need to be patient. They need to be gentle. They need to work on people that have problems in their lives and do everything that they can to help them to see, first of all, their sin. Secondly, to repent. Thirdly, to help recover them from the snare of the devil who have been taken captive by them. There are many, many Christians out there in many, many different churches of different denominations, and they're become so legalistic, even under the New Testament, when the New Testament is the one that tells us that the law has been taken away, removed from us, so it doesn't hinder us anymore. They become so legalistic by the dictates of the scriptures, the precepts of the scriptures that are there to guide us and lead us, but they forget the mercy, the grace, the forgiveness of God, and the ministry of a servant of God to not only help them to see the truth and repent if they failed in the truth, but to recover them, to restore them, to bring them back into fellowship with God and with the church. How can you do that if you think it's up to you to disqualify everybody based upon your interpretation or based upon your feelings and your emotions, your form of godliness? No, the power of God is there to deliver and to rescue and to recover people from their sins. That's a biblical truth, and that's a New Testament promise. And we need to live in the power of the New Testament. You have a great day. God bless you.